Alright, so my thoughts on this game. Obviously, why are the credits completely silent? Like, credits aren't boring enough as it is. But anyway, my thoughts on the game. Number one, very good game. Very good game. It was... I'm glad how this game, if you noticed, all the side quests were actually... There were less of them, but they were more involved. And they weren't just like... Because, I mean, in Dragon Age Origins, there were all kinds. There were way more quests than there are in this game. There were, like, probably at least 3-4 times as many. But almost every single one of those extra quests were all, like, just go here and find this and then bring it back to me. Like, those kinds of things. Like, you had the Chantry board that you could grab quests off of. You had, like, a Rebel Mage kind of a deal you get quests off of. I think there was, like, a Thieves Guild kind of a deal you get quests from. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I played that game, but like almost all of the quests you got from those boards were essentially go find this item and then bring it back, or something to that effect. So I'm glad that in this game, almost all the side quests they had were essentially, they had something to do with the main story. Or not something to do with the main story, but at least some kind of purpose around the city. You know, like it made sense. And it all tied in together. So I like that. That was good. They actually all tied it together. That was one of the worst things, is how there's just so much, just random, nonsensical quests that they just throw at you to basically be there in the game to say like, oh, look at all the content we have. I'm glad that they actually made the content purposeful rather than to have an overabundance of it. So that's cool. I like that. Obviously, I mean, I'm a BioWare fanboy. Like, that's the one thing that you can call me a fanboy of. I will defend anything of BioWare's to the death, essentially. I mean, I guess I really wouldn't say I'm that bad, because I recognize its faults, but, I mean, it's just, whatever you describe somebody who's never had a bad time playing a BioWare game, that's me. I love every single game that I've played. I've loved. The game that originally got me into RPGs in the first place was Knights of the Old Republic. And then everything since then has just been great. So, they've always been really good with stories. This story was very good. It stood on its own, while also tying in some things of the last game. Like, there were things that you really wouldn't miss. Like, you had that side quest with Zevran, which was a nice little touch. It was just a little side quest. It wasn't anything particularly important. I'm not sure if it would have happened if you didn't import data. I don't know. But then, you know, you had King Alistair showing up, which again, that was a nice little effect to the game. But that also wasn't, like, hugely important. And if you didn't have him as the king, you weren't really missing anything. And then having Liliana at the end, it's just, I mean, you're not really missing. It stands on its own while also being distinctly Dragon Age, which I like that. The one thing that I don't like is just the level of difficulty. It's just sometimes so random. Like, that fight with the Arashock, which I showed. Actually, that really wasn't much to do with difficulty and more to do with just bad coding overall. Which I guess that's what I should be harping on, is that, like, the battle with the Arashock, you saw it. Like, I'm just in that fight, and, you know, he starts to wind up for this huge attack, so normally you're like, oh shit, that's gonna take off a lot of my health. Time to bolt, you know, run away, get away from that attack. And despite only using regular swords and me being halfway across the room, the attack still hits. That kind of a deal, where just something is just obviously bugged, and there's nothing you can do about it. Or, you know, like the stuff that I was kind of bitching about a little bit before, how some enemies, every time they hit you, they have a chance to stagger you. And so there were times where I would just go from full health to nothing because I get staggered, then staggered, then staggered, then staggered, and I never recover. I'm never able to move or do anything about it. That shouldn't happen. You know, it's just kind of, it doesn't make it difficult, it makes it frustrating. Like, there is the style of difficulty where it's challenging, and the style of difficulty where it just gets annoying and Just annoying. And unfortunately, this game dipped over into the annoying portion far more than it dipped over into the challenging portion. Like, a game like Ninja Gaiden is difficult but challenging. Devil May Cry, difficult but challenging. It's still fun. This game, not so much, because whenever it really did get, like, particularly difficult, most of the time it was out of your control. Like, it wasn't something where you could magically, there was something that you just weren't doing right. It was just something that happened, and you were like, well, cool. There's nothing I could have done about that. Also, the bugs and glitches. I mean, honestly, in a game like this, you have to go in a game that is this large, in an RPG that's 30 to 40 hours long, you have to go in with the understanding at the beginning that there are going to be bugs and there are going to be glitches. And all that you can hope is that there's nothing game-breaking. And unfortunately, there was, like in both of those boss fights, like the boss fight with the High Dragon, where he goes up to that section where you can't actually move up there yourself. It's impossible to move up there. And he just stays there and shoots fireballs at you that you can't avoid. They track you. And it would not come down. Obviously, the whole point of that was for that thing to fly up there, and then it summons a bunch of bunch of smaller dragons to you. And then once you kill the smaller dragons, alright, here comes the High Dragon back that you get to fight again. Except I kill all the smaller dragons, and then here's the High Dragon just chilling up there shooting fireballs at me while I keep losing all my life. That shouldn't happen. And then again, that you saw with the final boss fight, when Orsino goes into that smaller form and he leaps off the edge for a little bit to summon a bunch of other creatures. And then somehow, what's her name? Aveline magically found her way down there, even though it's supposed to be impossible to go down there. Aveline found her way down there and was fighting him down there. And so because of that, it wasn't possible for me to get down there. I couldn't do it, and he wouldn't come back up. So that ended up, I had to reload the earlier save file of that because there was nothing I could do. I couldn't fight him. I couldn't kill him. And so, I mean, those are the kinds of things where you would think that if it was tested properly, that would have at least happened at some point in time, honestly. That's just very, yeah. But other than that, I mean, the story was great. The ending was kind of abrupt. It was kind of short. I heard somewhere that EA kind of pressured BioWare to get this out the door, so that may be why. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad ending, but it is kind of disappointing a little bit that, like in the original game, you had that, where you had the same kind of slightly abrupt ending, even though after the end you did get to go back and talk to everybody at that little party, and then you had the ending, which that would have kind of been good here. But again, the thing that I missed the most is at the end of Dragon Age Origins, they kind of summed everything up in the game with like little text boxes. Like, it wasn't a cutscene or anything, it was just like a still picture, and then they gave you a little story about the important things that happened to the game, like what happened to your party members. With the bigger side quests, what were the effect of the bigger side quests on whoever was involved in them, and that kind of thing. I don't understand why they wouldn't do that here. I wish they had. That would have been nice, wrap everything up. That wrapped everything up nicely. Now you're kind of left with, okay, now that Dalish tribe that Meryl was a part of, they're now without a keeper, and they're now without a first, because obviously they don't want Meryl anywhere near them. So what's going to happen to them? Now you have the Circle of Magi and the Templar, who are now completely leaderless. What's going to happen to them? What did Fenris go off and do? Did Isabel and the Champion, did they end up getting their ship and sailing off into the sunset? Did, what exactly is the general opinion of Anders after what he did? All that kind of stuff. It'd be nice if they wrapped it up. That didn't really wrap up a lot of the questions that are involved. Now, that may be because they have DLC planned. Obviously, they have DLC planned. There's no way that you make a level cap in this game of level 50, which is only attainable by glitching, And then, you know, like if you don't glitch like I did, I did most of the side quests, not all of them. I missed a few things. I never did go back and turn in that Kunari sword. I'm sure I didn't find all the Kunari swords. There was a quest where you're supposed to find, like, magical tomes, and then you get to fight, and then, like, each time you destroy them, you get to fight a bunch of demons, and then eventually when you destroy all of them, you get to fight kind of a boss, which is actually an achievement, and I didn't get it. So I missed that. So, I mean, there are side quests that I missed here and there, but from what I'm led to believe, you pretty much end up, like, if you do everything, you pretty much end up around level 25. That's only halfway to level 50, so there's obvious DLC planned. So, my best guess is that they didn't want to wrap it up because they have future DLC planned. The unfortunate thing is, again, they did the same thing with Dragon Age Origins. They wrapped everything up after the main story, but still had DLC afterwards, which fit in perfectly. It didn't really ruin anything. So, it is kind of disappointing to go through a game, spend, you know, 30, 40 hours playing through it, and then have it all wrapped up in 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, and that's it. That's a little too abrupt for me. It also doesn't help that these credits are already 11 minutes long. The credits are already 5 times longer than the ending. But, yeah. That's pretty much everything. I mean, honestly, it was a great game. Very much worth the money I paid for it. There is a DLC character who is, you got him for free if you pre-ordered the game early enough, you got like an automatic upgrade to Collector's Edition. That was the only way to get the Collector's Edition. And then you got this guy, his name's Sebastian. You get Sebastian for free. I think he's like $7 to download normally. Everything I've heard about him, though, is like, he's not really that great of a character. He's just a character. Whereas, you know, like the downloadable character in Dragon Age Origins was Shale, who was by and far the best character in the fucking game. She was an amazing character, and you get her for free if you buy the game, period. If you buy the game new, you get her. But you know, like, if, say that didn't happen and she was, you know, on sale for $7, I'd buy her. I would immediately buy her if I knew, you know, like, that's the character that you got. Because she was a great fucking character. Sebastian, I just haven't really heard anything good about. Actually, mostly I've heard either, how do I do this quest, or Sebastian is annoying. I've never heard anything about, oh, Sebastian's a great character, so not really worth the money. But I'm sure there'll be future DLC planned. If there is, I'll probably play through that. Unfortunately, I was hoping that I'd get a little bit more attention through this, you know, a new game. A game that a lot of people are looking forward to, but unfortunately, I am known for my fighting game stuff, not my game stuff. So, it's kind of pointless to do this for anything else right now, but in the interest of completion and whatnot, if there are any DLCs that I end up buying, then I'll play through them and put them on this channel. Other than that, though, I wouldn't really expect anything. It's very time-consuming and resource-consuming. Like, I pretty much have to while I'm uploading videos, I pretty much have to give up the use of my internet for anything beyond, like, reading text message boards. Which, I mean, I use my computer for a lot of things. You know, I have online classes that I actually can't do when I'm uploading YouTube videos. So, yeah. Anyway, for those of you that did watch all the way through, I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. And these credits are stupidly long. And seriously, there's absolutely no sound. Can I skip through them? Oh, you can, but nothing happened. So let's just see. Let's see. It should just be available content. It should just be Sebastian. I don't think there's anything else right now. I don't see how there would be. Trailer. So yeah, you have Sebastian right there. And everything else is just, like, yeah. Looks like everything else is just Avatar shit. And trailers and themes. Nothing worth buying right now. So yeah, let's see here. Little game. Loading an autosave. I wonder if you can do anything. I only have like 20 seconds to figure this shit out, so you better load quickly. Come on. There are more downloadable content. Oh, okay, so yeah, there are more downloadable content adventures. So cool. Oh, I leveled up. So anyway, let's see what there is to do. If there is anything to do. I got 8 seconds, come on. Oh, I can't actually go anywhere? Alright, I can't actually go anywhere, so that's it.